going on? I want to talk to you a little bit about mother-daughter relationships. I think that mother-daughter relationships can be wonderful, but then there are times that mother-daughter relationships can be very difficult, and there's really not a space to talk about the difficult mother-daughter relationships because the world, society says you only have one mother, and true, you only do have one mother and one father, but it can be so difficult as a daughter to navigate because our mothers don't have a handbook on being mothers. They have their own trauma, and it really gets filtered down to their daughters. And it becomes this place, it can become this place that could be toxic, and there could be arrested development for the daughter. So I wanted to talk about just this space that I think even within the Black community, it's a difficult place to talk about. So mother-daughter relationships can really hinder a daughter from her growth. If the mother has trauma or has not worked on herself, it really does get put on the plate, or the daughter becomes burdened by these traumatic experiences that the mother had. And a lot of times the mother, not knowing or knowing, will try to dictate the path of the daughter's development, where to go and why they need to go down this road in their lives. But it really might not be the path for their daughter, but it's the path that the mother wants the daughter to go down. So I'll just give you an example. If a mother really wants their daughter to be independent and not leaning in on a man and really making this daughter very independent alpha woman, then what may happen is that she may not attract a partner the daughter might not attract a partner that really speaks to her because her mom is trying to raise her to be an alpha woman. And so as her mom is trying to raise her to be an alpha woman, what's happening is the mom is raising her based off her experiences because she may have had to marry a man to help her get to the places that she is. And that her mom was determined for her daughter not to lean in on a man or be vulnerable enough where she can have people to help her. And that can hinder that daughter because ultimately the daughter is being molded into what the mom wanted herself to be. Mother-daughter relationships can be powerful when mothers raise their hand to their own trauma and really being able to be vulnerable enough and saying, hey, this is what I may have done to impact you. Mothers, I really charge you to do your work as you are a mother. I don't care the age of your daughter or your children, but it's really important because it really impacts your daughter. I know that I was impacted by my mother and her own trauma and how I identified as a woman growing up as a girl, just kind of moving through navigating my way to womanhood. And I knew that I didn't embrace me as a woman, as in coming into womanhood, because when I would look at my mom, it didn't look like it was the thing to be. I was very much a tomboy, and it just seemed really hard to be a woman. And it didn't really appeal to me. So I very much stayed very androgynous or in my right side, which is my masculine side, and never really embraced my left side, my nurturing side, until I got into my present relationship. And once I leaned into my feminine side, so many things came to the forefront in a positive way that I could now see my mom for who she was. I didn't reject womanhood. I leaned into it, and I have been able to really navigate these wonderful relationships with women that I struggled with growing up, and even in my early 20s and 30s, that I just was standoffish from women relationships because of my dance with my mom. And so I just say that mother-daughter relationships can be impactful and the next generation in the daughter's like life, because the mother anxiousness, the mother's depression, or the mother's own wounds hinder that daughter to grow. Because I was looking for my mom when I was growing up and I couldn't find her. I was looking for this softness and I couldn't find her because the softness was buried under all her trauma. And it's okay. Now I've come to terms with her as a mom and as a woman, and I identify myself in those things that I didn't like about her, that I too had it because I'm her daughter. I'm in her lineage. And as I've embraced her at the soul level and really accept who she is, then guess what? I've accepted me. And once I accept me, then I can accept other women in this world to support me, love up on me, and give me what I desire and I need, and vice versa. And I'm able to love my mom differently. So mother-daughter relationships really impact the development of the daughter and then future generations to come. So moms, I charge you to start looking at yourself. I actually tell you, you should go in counseling because of this. Parenting isn't easy. There is no handbook to navigate that path. And finding a therapist that you can talk to, it doesn't have to be weekly, but it could be every so often, so you can run the things by your therapist to say, hey, is this healthy or unhealthy? How am I navigating this part of me being a mother and my daughter being a child and growing into herself? Do I have anxiety that I'm placing on my daughter that's not fair, that's stopping her and hindering her from living her life? One of the things I realized that my mom was concerned about me, but her anxiety is the one thing that ran her before her concern in my mind. And it's okay. And I felt that. And once I understood that, I understand where her anxiety came from. And I understood what she needed to be in control of the control, so then she didn't have to deal with those emotions. So I'm not pointing the finger, but as I did my work, I understood her more. And then as I understood her more, I then understood myself. So moms, it's really important. And daughters, it's really important to work on you so then you can heal you. And the most magnificent thing is you can heal the generations behind you and generations to come if you don't have children yet. And then if you do have children, daughters, right? You can heal yourself, and so you can help the generation in front of you not navigate the spaces that you navigated. So just think about that. Be well, be amazing, and most of all, be you.